In this world, like if you tune in to ESPN, for example, I just don't believe Stephen A. Smith is gonna say nothing in reality. He has to say what will make his boss happy. See.
Okay, so we all know the backlash that Cam Newton has been receiving since he interviewed Jason Whitlock. Now, everybody is reacting this way because Cam Newton is currently employed on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith hired Cam Newton, and that's the reason why Ryan Clark even chimed in on this subject. He put out a tweet saying that Cam Newton is disloyal because he is biting a hand that is currently feeding him. Why would you do something like that? Even Emmanuel Acho, who has been critical of Stephen A. Smith, has chimed in on this subject as well.
I understand what Cam's saying, like, don't tell me who can come on my platform and don't tell me how to use my platform. But bruh, to me, the code is the code. And what is the code? The code is simple. If your best friend or your homeboy breaks up with a girl, I'm not going to try to get with her, at least not imminently. In the same breath, that same code is, if you rock with a dude in Stephen A. Smith, I'm not going to go talk to his very known and public op who has publicly slandered his name in an egregious and offensive manner. I'm just not going to do that. Furthermore, where I have to push what and challenge what Cam said. Cam, you said I was very interested in Jason Whitlock's takes. It wasn't about Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. What takes were you interested in, Cam? Reason I'm asking you this, Cam, is because the only take from that conversation that has gone viral, the only one, is the Whitlock take about Stephen A. Smith.
So that's pretty much how a lot of people feel about Cam Newton interviewing Jason Whitlock. It caused a lot of chaos and controversy inside of this ESPN sports world, right? And Cam Newton, he's responded back defending himself. He even called out Stephen A. Smith. He called out Ryan Clark. He's calling out his colleagues who has something to say about his interview with Jason Whitlock.
I will always do me and will continue to do me. And everybody who tried to change me, it's not going to happen because I am very secure and understand what I want for me. This was never about Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. The reason why I decided to bring Jason Whitlock on 4th and 1 was because Jason Whitlock had strong takes that I wanted to talk man to man about. And what better way to ease all that than through conversation? It's my job as a creator to bring people together to have the uncomfortable conversation. I didn't have no ill intent for Jason to come on and have him speak all this nonsense about said person. He said a lot of things. Stephen A. Smith was the one that responded. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So to my point, why, Cam, did you allow Jason to come on and have so much strong opinion about Stephen A? Why? Is because it happened to Carmelo when Stephen A. went and talked about LeBron.
That is true.
Now, I want to make this video because Cam Newton also interviewed another person Stephen A. Smith has had a long back and forth beef with. Cam Newton had interviewed Cory Holcomb on one of his podcasts, and Cory Holcomb was calling out Stephen A. Smith, calling him a puppet. And I want to go over this clip with you guys, so let's play this clip, and then I'll come back with some more commentary. Here's that video.
If you can, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That really does help support my YouTube channel, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
In this world, like if you tune in to ESPN, for example, I just don't believe Stephen A. Smith is gonna say nothing in reality. He has to say what will make his boss happy. See, here's a platform where we don't have to say what will make the boss happy, the boss being you, Cam, because your heart is in the right place in this situation, so you're not really stopping me from speaking freely. No. But I could not speak like this on a program like ESPN. That's why I've never been on ESPN. ESPN is funded off the backs of people like you. If it wasn't people like you, I ain't saying this because I'm in your face. Mm-hmm. I'm saying this because it needs to be said. People like you make ESPN watchable. If it wasn't people like you that they can capture and play on video, nobody would watch it. ESPN is funded off the backs of the people who don't really get what they supposed to get. The people who rich off ESPN are not the people who are creating the content on ESPN. We are the creators of all things people want to watch and see. I'm saying guys like us who stand out. Them people who get the big checks, garbage motherfuckers, spoiled kids. You know who they are.
They have the power to shift people's thinking. They call it propaganda, okay? So when you have things like words like nepotism, or you have words like sexism, there's a lot of truth behind that. But the storylines, right, is impacted by a producer that's going to tell Stephen A., that's going to tell anybody that's on TV, right? Gail King. It doesn't matter who you are. They're going to tell you what to say or what's hot that you should say. Now, if you go outside of that and you say certain things that you personally believe in, and it may be the truth, you're going to have to recant that if it offends the sponsors or the people who are paying the money. Go ahead.
Well, you will recant it if you still want to be in that business. But there are some things that have happened on television, magical moments where people just stand on what's right. One day, Kenny Smith walked off the set on ESPN. I mean, on TNT.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. When the Can't Breathe, or it was a movement, right?
See, even though you get programmed, you still have a heart. Kenny Smith showed he had a heart because he couldn't take it another second with them acting like this isn't serious. This is real. And I can't smile it off no more. And I remember when he did that because I was worried about him because I thought they wasn't going to have him back. Because if you stand up for what's right, you are not part of the programming of television in most situations. So what I'm saying is, Brother Cam, when you talk about things, like I said something about abortion earlier.
Yes, sir.
And I said some things about the Bible earlier. Trust me when I tell you there's beauty in the dark. The stuff that people think you're not supposed to say, you really, listen, you are supposed to say certain things because if you don't talk about it, the people will be programmed into thinking it's wrong to talk about it. There's nothing wrong talking about my interpretation of the Bible. There's nothing wrong talking about aborting babies. There's nothing wrong talking about it. It's just you're programmed to think, ooh, he said that. I didn't do anything wrong. I just talk about it. And there's a lot of people who want to hear about it. And you want me to tell you how I know that's true? Because I'm able to eat without being on any of those major media platforms that are out there. A lot of people want to hear about it. More people should hear about it. They should hear the point of view from people who have the courage to stay in the dark without the bank account that comes with working for those platforms, because those platforms, you can make a decent amount of money, as Stephen A. brags about all the time. He rich, but he broke. You rich, but you broke. Let me tell you why, brother. Because you know most of the stuff you say is what your boss wants you to say. They used to have a difficult way of getting that out there with certain reporters. But when they got us saying the dirt, when they got us talking about each other, this is how they get away with it. And if you ask me, Stephen A. leads the charge of us talking about us. That's just my opinion.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of you who clicked on this video know about the beef that Cory Holcomb and Stephen A. Smith has. Cory Holcomb has constantly criticized Stephen A. Smith on the 5150 podcast. Stephen A. Smith, he would respond back here and there. He even respond back to Cory Holcomb on ESPN.
So there's certain things that I want to address. You know what? People run their mouths and they talk a lot of stuff with their podcasts and all of this other stuff. Yeah, I got a television show, but I got a podcast too. I hear all of y'all. I hear y'all.
I would have been one of them guests that he have on there. I would have been one of them guests he have on there. But I speak my mind when he do fuck shit. So, of course, he distanced himself from me. And when he saw me in public, Cory, all that like that, what the shit when motherfuckers talk about I was scared? Nigga, I ain't never scared, man. I'm smart. The fuck? You think if I saw Stephen A. Smith and we was somewhere it was just me and him, do you think Stephen A. Smith would have the same energy? No. Oh, I'll be like, look, man, that whole ass you do to make the motherfucking people look bad is foul. Stephen A. Smith played a game because he had niggas with him. I had niggas with me. He was bold enough to pull it and act like it's all good. I go with the motherfucking game in some situations because motherfucking gangsters don't show his hand. Emotional niggas be ready to fight everywhere.
So with that being said, guys, I think we now know the character of Cam Newton. He doesn't care about the personal feelings. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants the content. Even if it's somebody who criticizes him and calls him out, or somebody that's degrading him or slandering his name or whatever, Cam Newton is willing to have them on his podcast so he can have the IP and the content. And this is what Cam Newton is standing on. He's saying like, yo, I'm going to be that person that doesn't shy away from controversy. I'm going to be the one to get people to sit down, talk it out, and whatever comes from it, comes from it. So that's what Cam Newton was saying when he responded back to Ryan Clark, saying that this is my show. I'm not going to be controlled by ESPN or relationships. This is my show. This is how I run my show. If you don't like it, don't watch it. So that's it for today's video, guys. I want to show you guys that Cam Newton did interview Cory Holcomb, another one of Stephen A. Smith's ops. So I would like for you guys to get in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next one, and we out, guys. Peace.